Alrighty, folks. Good evening. Welcome to DuePoint. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in around our country on our live stream. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending about 45 minutes with you as we go through our presentation. We're going to touch on a little bit of background on DuePoint, the necessity of DuePoint, but more importantly, we're going to spend most of the presentation just speaking about the benefits, and that's really why you're here. You want to know what benefits you have in store for you with regards to this business. So once we finish the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, we're a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. We have been operating very successfully in the insurance space for nearly 70 years. We were founded in 1952. We've traditionally only dealt with other financial service providers, so you might not know our brand or even the name, but if you ever took the time to page through any of your insurance policies, odds are that Constantia actually underwrites some of the long-term products that you might have. But through this division that we've now launched, DuePoint, you'll become a lot more familiar with Constantia as well as DuePoint. We don't share offices with Constantia, but they are just down the road here in Randburg. Our FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. That's very important. We've got a number of Financial Services Board licenses, which you are very welcome to go scrutinize. So we've got them up on display in the foyer outside above the water cooler. They're also available on our website, and you can even go onto the FSCA's website and go look up our business license, well, at least our financial service provider licenses there. So we've got a long and short-term insurance license, an FSP license, and an investment license here at Constantia. The senior staff here at DuePoint are these people up on screen, starting with the very important registered chartered accountants, which are the first three people on the far left. Mr. Brendan Benfield is our senior executive. He heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, mostly because of his father, I guess. His father started selling insurance door to door the moment he left school, and became extremely successful in the insurance space. He started Clientele Life, so he was the founder of Clientele Life, IFA. He headed up many businesses in South Africa. They've started businesses in Europe, and then his two sons, Brendan and Stuart, followed in his footsteps, and that together they founded a business down the road called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, which is about 10 years old now. I think they're the fourth biggest short-term insurer in the country, so they've got some amazing financial pedigree in the Benfield. So we're very fortunate to have Brendan heading up this division. Tim and Stacey, they look after all the other accounting, auditing, regulatory requirements in our business, which is fairly important but boring stuff, if you ask me. That's what you get for studying accountancy. And then Jane and myself, we're the two non-accountants. Jane is very experienced in direct sales, network marketing, referral marketing. She comes from that industry. She's from the UK, so she brings, I guess, what we could call international experience with her to our business. Please don't make the mistake of labeling us as a network marketing business. We're not a network marketing business. We're an insurance company. But the marketing model that we've adopted is one of network marketing. And that's the dependency we have on people that we invite to collaborate with us here in this business to the benefit of both of us. So Jane brings that experience to our team, which is obviously fundamental to our business because that's where we rely on growth in South Africa's market. And then myself, I've been working in advertising, branding. I'm a creative director by trade. I've been working in that space for about 25 years. I ran my own agency that was fairly successful for about 15 years, but I exited that business to join the team here at DuePoint. So this is our senior staff. We've got client service staff. We've got admin staff. The mandate of the staff here at DuePoint is to support everybody that joins us here at DuePoint. It's in our business interest because, like I said, we rely on you for growth in the market. And so we want to make sure that you're being effective at doing so. But more importantly, what we want to be able to show is that you guys can become profitable in this business. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to be involved in this business. And so that's really our mandate as staff of DuePoint, is to support everybody that joins us as much as we can. Very quickly, we kind of look at the circumstance that South Africans find themselves in. We sent a beautiful post out on our Facebook page today. I don't know if anyone saw it with regards to the fuel price hike that went up. I thought last night on my way home, I had about half a tank of fuel left. I thought, let me fill up. I got to the petrol station near my house, and there was about 3 cars behind every single pump station. So I thought, it's probably going to save me 35 Rand, 40 Rand, so I left it. But when you start to add it up, I think now I've got a 75-litre tank in my 4x4, about 1,200 Rand to fill it up every single time now. And doing a little bit of research around the post that we sent out today on Facebook, we've got a slight lag with regards to our fuel price according to oil, the Brent crude oil price according to the Rand-dollar exchange rate, all these factors that affect the petrol price. And I've seen now in the last month that Brent crude has gone up about 10%. So you know what's in store for us in October and November. More petrol price increases, right? It's actually getting a little bit worrying. But our business, nonetheless, and that's just a tiny little slither of all the issues that we're facing with regards to personal finance as average South Africans, I guess, in South Africa. So I'm not going to labor on too much about the circumstance that we find ourselves in, because there's not too much to pin your hopes on at the moment. And that's really how this business came about. We saw this fundamental need for South Africans to be able to change their circumstance. Brendan's father had a lot of experience through the IFA and having founded Clientele Life and doing similar things in Europe, where a network marketing business model is wonderful opportunity for anybody to get involved to start mitigating a lot of the risk that we find presented to ourselves. And that's really how this business came about. So 2.5 years ago, Constantia launched this division called DuePoint, which is really the business opportunity side of Constantia for members of the public. We launched the DuePoint system in February 2016, so we're about just over 2.5 years old. With a number of aspirations in mind for people that get involved in this business. So we didn't want to just create a business that created additional income, because when we, being an insurance company, our business is about mitigating risk and looking at personal finance for a lot of South Africans. What we started to understand is that people aren't focused on wealth creation as consumers. To be a consumer and someone who creates wealth at the same time, it's almost a juxtaposition. It's almost an oxymoron, right? You're either the one or you're the other. Unfortunately, generally, we fall foul of consumerism. And what we wanted to do was build a business where not only do we create income, but we also create a paradigm shift within the people that we get to engage with almost on a daily basis. And that engagement is about wealth creation. So when I talk about the aspirations we have, not only for our business, but for the people that get involved in our business, because we have typically very close relationships with the people that get involved in our business, is to get people to start focusing on wealth creation. And it begins with getting rid of your debt as quickly as possible. I'm in my 40s already, and I look at my relationship with debt over the years, and it's almost a relationship where you kind of just accept that debt is there. It's just a part of life almost. I saw some scary statistics of kids in the US that were graduating out of college. The liability of college graduates in the US, so the amount of money that college graduates owe the US government for their education funds that they typically get loans for, exceeds South Africa's GDP. That's a frightening statistic. I heard on one talk show, one guy called in and he says he's got $1 million, $1 million, should I say, $1 million in debt. He's not even 30 years old as an American, and he's only graduating from college now. So really, when I talk about wealth creation, it begins with getting rid of our debt as quickly as possible. It's not something you have to accept. You don't have to take 20 years to pay off a bond. You don't have to take 6 years to pay off a car. You don't have to keep falling foul of revolving credit card debt and overdraft debt and that type of thing. But we understand that the circumstance that typically we find ourselves in with regard to the economy we're in, that it's very hard to even think about, oh, let me pay my debt off faster, because most South Africans are just trying to get by, right? But we're hoping through our business opportunity that we've created that it allows South Africans the liberty, the leverage to actually start doing something like paying their debt off. Because if you want to create wealth, you have to get rid of your debt first. It then empowers you to create wealth, and we create wealth through the ownership of assets. Right? And those can be, assets take on all shapes and sizes, but hopefully they're assets that create annuity income for you and that appreciate year on year. And if you can get to that kind of aspiration, well, then I think we start changing the lives of people here at DuePoint. So those are the aspirations we have in mind for people. Get rid of your debt, start focusing on wealth, create happiness. Generally, in a nutshell. How does this business work? As guests this evening, you have the opportunity to join what we call the DuePoint system. Once you join us, we refer to you as wealth engineers. So that's what we call everybody that joins us at DuePoint and collaborates with us, wealth engineers. You've got a single task, and that is to go out and build for us what we call a channel of distribution. So it's basically like any business. For example, Checkers. Checkers has channels of distribution, being their shopping centers all over the country. We rely on our wealth engineers to create something similar so that we can promote our financial products into those channels that you create for us. And if you're successful in doing that, well, there's a host of benefits waiting for you, right? So primarily, yes, additional income. That's really what you're only interested in as well. How much money can I make here? But just to expand on that, the nature of the income we produce here is one of recurring nature. This speaks to wealth creation. We are not a business or an opportunity that creates once-off commission-based, sales-based income. We want to create wealth. And so what we do is we pay you for the asset that you help us build here at DuePoint instead of paying you for your activity, right? So that's got a number of benefits if you create recurring income. Recurring income frees you of time constraint. So as salary earners, I imagine everyone earns salary. Salary earning is activity-based income. If you don't go to work for a month, you're not going to get paid. When you retire, you're not going to get paid. If you drop dead tomorrow, you're not going to get paid, right? Because your income is purely based off of activity. This is very constraining, right? This is the primary reason I left my business, because running an agency, we sold time. And I realized at the end of every month, I was chasing a number every single month. And the number reset to zero at the end of every single month. And a lot of businesses are like that. Income, salary is exactly like that. But if you're able to build an asset that pays out income, well, now you've freed yourself of that constraint completely. And I'll show you some wealth engineers that have earned income with zero activity in this business because they built an asset that pays out the income. You get to, so this is something that's particular to network marketing. Most network marketing businesses is the ability to leverage yourself. It's the ability to go out and find other people to help you, to collaborate with you effectively, hopefully, in building your channel of distribution faster and more effectively. It ratchets up your ability to build a bigger channel, right? And that goes without saying. I mean, would you rather be a salesman at work, or would you be the sales manager, earning a bit of commission off of every salesperson, right? Again, what you're doing is you're freeing yourself of time constraint. If you're earning a little bit off of everybody, well, you can increase that team exponentially, and in turn, your income. If you're a single person, you are constrained again by that amount of hours in the day. Right? So again, wonderful benefit to leverage. Our business is FlexiTime. The technology that we've imposed here at DuePoint allows you to build this channel of distribution anywhere in the country at any time of the day. So everything runs off a mobile app. We are very much in the cloud, so to speak, and it just gives you that flexibility. There's no startup capital in our business. There's no boxes of product that you have to invest in. There's no registration fees. There's no starter kits. We've designed this business to have a very low barrier to entry. And I think there are 2 points that come off of that benefit. One is we have enough confidence and trust in our business model that we don't need to tell people, oh, to get in, you need to spend 15,000 Rand or 20,000 Rand. Right? That's almost like a smash and grab mentality, because I'm not confident that you're going to be around next month. But we are confident that people are going to look at the system and go, okay, this does work, and I have trust in the business that I've partnered with. And so we make a very low barrier to entry, very low risk opportunity for people to get involved in. At the same time, there's no qualifications or experience requirements. This business really becomes accessible to everybody. The asset that you're building here at DuePoint is one that you have ownership over. So this is a very important point, right? It goes back to the constraint of activity-based income. So if you have an asset that you have ownership over, it doesn't retire you. It is something that you can sell, right, with time. Especially if it's growing every single month, that's certainly an appreciating asset. And when you get to retirement, it'll carry on paying you. Although your activity-based, your salary will end. This business can pay you through your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, and when you die one day, it gets treated as any asset, and you can seed it in your will. So your will say, I seed my DuePoint business to my children or to my spouse, and you'll be one of the very few South Africans that actually pass wealth onto the next generation instead of liability. There's no selling involved in our business, so this is something that a lot of people get confused on, that there's no requirement around product or selling. How does that actually work? So in our code of conduct with you, we actually explicitly state that you may not promote, we even go to this point of saying don't even speak about our products, right? Because you are not licensed to, so it's a regulatory mandate. But this is a wonderful thing because you don't have to worry about having to go out and sell insurance or investment products. All we rely on you for is piquing the interest of people enough so that they will watch an intro presentation. And then I will tell them about the business opportunity, the products, the benefits, the rewards program, all of that. That is my job. Your job is just to get people in front of me, whether it's on the live stream or through a USB stick or coming to the head office because you want free tea and coffee. Maybe you've got ambushed coming here tonight. Nonetheless, it's 45 minutes that I have with you to speak to you, mostly about the business presentation, and a small slither of that is about our products, because the benefit of our products is tiny in comparison to the business opportunity here at DuePoint. So don't get confused when I only spend 5 minutes on our products. Right, so I'll elaborate a little bit on that later on. The nature of our products are financial in nature. It means we don't have stock and distribution issues here at DuePoint. You're not going to be ordering boxes from Jane or worrying about stock or having to bring a bakkie to load all the product up to sell on the weekends, right? So the products inherently are convenient in themselves. So this is the host of benefits that you need to consider in this proposition this evening. Your success is very much determined. Well, it's only determined on your ability to build this thing called a channel of distribution. So it begins with you. You become a wealth engineer and a product owner this evening, and you are now tasked with going out and connecting other people. So like I said, you pique the interest of other people enough. So let's say, for example, you get 10 people to come watch the intro presentation. Only 5 decide to join. That's fine. That's a good ratio. So you've got 5 people that become wealth engineers and product owners in their own right. That is the beginning of your channel of distribution. And this is potentially where the power of duplication takes place, because the people that you connected to DuePoint as wealth engineers go out and do exactly the same thing as you. They're going to duplicate your behavior because they also want to build channels of distribution. They want to create recurring income for whatever the reasons they have. And this is what your channel could look like after a certain amount of time. Right? You want to build as strong a channel as possible, because the stronger the channel that you build, the more sustainable it is. And the more sustainable it is, it means that that asset becomes self-sufficient. Right? What does that mean? That means you don't have to nurse the asset to maintain the income that it's paying you every single month. My hope is, and we're still too early, we're only 2.5 years in this process, but my hope is that perhaps at year 5, year 6, we're going to be able to start seeing wealth engineers that are producing so much income every month that's stable, where they have the liberty of taking 3 months holiday. I would love to see that with wealth engineers, right? So we've got a few experienced wealth engineers here already. They're on that journey, but it takes time. And this can only happen over time. And you're potentially being paid for every single product owner that you see on the screen. Not once-off income, but recurring income every single month. So make sure that you bring strong, resourceful people in at the beginning, because that behavior filters into the rest of your channel. You can be desperate and you can bring anyone who wants to join or wants money into your business, but that will allow this business to collapse, right? Because that same behavior, that weak behavior, will filter also into your channel. So my tip to you is bring strong people in the beginning. You don't have to build quickly. You're going to see in this example, you only brought 5 people in, it results in something like that. You don't have to build quickly. We are talking like 2-3 people a month only is enough to sustain a business, if you have the patience to wait a couple of years, right? But we'll look at the numbers a little more closely. My warning to everyone, again, I've hinted on it a little bit, no one's going to become wealthy overnight in this business. That doesn't actually exist in any entrepreneurial opportunity anywhere on the planet. The proponents of those type of schemes are typically the smash and grab mentality. They make these crazy claims, bold claims, they try to get you in, and they often attach a massive investment to it. Right? That's typically how they work. We're not one of those businesses. We have got massive reputation in South Africa's market. We are regulated constantly. We've got the FSB, now called the FSCA, here currently doing an audit on us. I promise you, those other businesses don't get audited by anybody, right? They are here today, gone tomorrow. We are not one of those businesses. So I hope I've allayed any fear that you might have or any skepticism in the legitimacy of our business, but at the same time, the business opportunity. I won't ever tell anyone that this business is easy. It is simple, but simple and easy are two very different things. We've designed the business to be very simple, low barrier to entry to get involved in, but it still requires typically that, to get bruised, maybe bloodied, lose a toe in the process. But hopefully the benefit is worth it, right? And that's really what, when we invite wealth engineers up on stage, my question to them always is, has it been worth it to you? The work, the dealing with people, being let down with people, having success, then going through dips, has it all been worth it? And typically the answer is always yes. So that's our little warning to everybody. I'm quickly going to go through our financial products. We only have 4 products for you to consider. You can consider 1, 2, all 4 products. This is a personal decision that you will make. So you need to kind of assess the products. They are straightforward products. You know, the list of benefits and exclusions that you see up on screen is pretty much define each of the products, so there's no hidden T's and C's that you typically find. Nonetheless, let's go through them. Our first product is an investment product. It's called Access Wealth. It costs you 324 Rand every month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. That's just with Sanlam. It's an actively managed fund. We've got fund managers, fund administrators that manage the fund. You've got full access to the fund, so there's no delayed notice period that you have to give to draw out those funds. And then on top of that, we give you 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident death cover with this investment. So if you have an investment in place and you're killed in any fashion via accident, so in other words, it excludes illness or natural causes, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand plus whatever's in the investment. So that's the investment product. The second product is an insurance product strictly. It is personal accident cover only. It's called Wealth Guard. It costs you 249 Rand a month, so this is the cheapest product we have. It gives you 1 million Rands worth of accidental death cover. And the beauty of accidental death cover is that we don't profile you from a health or age risk point of view. So typically if you looked at any type of insurance product, they always want to profile your risk, right? They want to know how old you are, they want to know your medical history, even your family's medical history, and they ask you all these questions. We don't do any of that, so we don't discriminate against anyone with regards to health or age. As long as you're over the age of 18, you can take out this product. The premium is 249 for everybody, and the amount of cover that people receive is the same for everyone. So great product in Wealth Guard. Then Family Wealth is a wonderful funeral cover product. You know, we do a lot of research with regards to competitors in the market, and this is really one of the best products in the country with regards to funeral cover. So it starts at 299 Rand a month. You get 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. It covers up to 5 family members. You get 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection. So whatever credit liability you have, we'll pay out up to 10,000 Rand of that upon your death. And then you can increase the cover up to 30,000 Rand as well as up to 10 family members. And again, there's no discrimination with regards to pre-existing conditions that you might have. So again, regardless of your age and your health status, you can take the product out and there's no change to the premium. So the premium stays at 299 for everybody, and the amount of cover is the same for everybody. So that's Family Wealth, our funeral cover product. And then lastly, we've got Wealth Points. Wealth Points costs 299 Rand a month. This is not actually a financial product. So this is more a lifestyle benefits product. What we've done, or at least the aim of this product, is to lower people's cost of living. Right? So that's one of the biggest things that's going up every single month is cost of living keeps increasing. We've approached a number of companies that we've partnered with. They've agreed to give us discounts, which we've been able to pass on to our Wealth Points members. And we've tried to cover the spectrum of cost of living. So if you think about all the money that you spend on every single month, or the things that you spend money on every single month, data, for example, right? That's probably a big one. Maybe restaurants, hotels. We've got a lot of online retailers, we've got groceries. How much money do we spend on groceries? And so there are a lot of discounts available for people. Always on Wi-Fi data, you get a gig for about 36 Rand. ShopRite Checkers, 2.5% off your entire trolley as many times as you want to shop at ShopRite Checkers. So the discounts vary with all of them. We've even got car manufacturers. You can see Jaguar Land Rover right at the bottom there, because I know wealth engineers, maybe not now, but hopefully soon will be able to buy Range Rovers with their DuePoint cash. That would be nice, arriving in a Range Rover one day. So that's how Wealth Points works. Immediate benefit for wealth engineers. Wonderful product, and we are adding a brand new telecoms partner to this product in the next week that we're going to be announcing. So that's very exciting. Maybe we need to add a petrol partner sooner or later, right? That's mitigate all of that cost increase. So those are the products. There's more information on our website, and they are in-depth reviews. So if you really want to get into the nuts and bolts of some of the products, there's an in-depth video review on each product that you can look at. Basically, to explain our business model, just so that people understand where we get the money from to pay our wealth engineers, because sometimes that question comes up. It's basically in the fact that we don't do any advertising or marketing like typical insurance companies. So most insurance companies, their growth is dependent on their advertising spend, right? So we still take that budget, but what we do is we reassign the budget. Instead of giving it to the likes of media partners like DSTV and SABC and the Star newspaper and whatever else, we take that portion of the budget and we give it to our wealth engineers in the work that they do in creating these channels of distribution for us. And we do that through two ways. So there's two ways to benefit: our returns program and the rewards program. And that's what we're going to discuss now. So the returns program is the primary way to earn money here at DuePoint. We pay a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every product that ends up being paid in your channel of distribution, right? So that depends on where the product lies in relation to you. So we've got kind of like a staggered remuneration model. Everybody that you introduce to DuePoint that pays for their products, those people lie on what we call your first point, and on your first point we pay out double the 27.50 Rand. So for example, if you've got 10 people on your first point, you're going to be earning 550 Rand every single month, right? When those people go out and start connecting other people to the business, those product owners lie on what we call your second point, and again on your second point we pay you 55 Rand for every product every month, because it's recurring income. And then as your channel starts to grow more and more, that product gets further away from you, and the further away from you it gets, the multiplier drops steadily all the way down to 0.8. So you can see on 0.8 you're earning 4% of the 27.50 Rand, but we don't limit you there. That's why we've got the little plus next to the 8 there, because from 0.8 onwards you can keep earning 4% of every product beyond 0.8. We don't limit you on the size of your channel at DuePoint. There is absolutely no limitation on how much money you can earn at DuePoint, right? That onus falls squarely on your shoulders. So that is the mechanics of the returns. Very straightforward. People obviously want to know, well, how quickly do people make money in this business? Is this business worth my time? How soon am I going to be wealthy, whatever wealthy means to you? And so we built this thing called the Path to Success. It really is just a projection over the next 5 years based on particular activity. So the activity that requires to meet these numbers is that you're able to bring 3 people into the business successfully in your first month, right? So 3 in your first month, 3 in October, for example, and then every consecutive month you only have to bring in 2 people. So you can see we're not talking about big numbers. We're talking about 3 in October, 2 in November, 2 in December, basically 1 person successfully every 2 weeks. I think that's doable. And if you can follow that activity with some duplication in your business, you can be earning about 2,500 Rand a month in recurring income after 6 months. Right? And now I know you're thinking, is that worth my time? Is 2,500 Rand worth my time? Is it enough? Do I need more? But it's a wonderful point to bring up with regards to the power of money. So what we typically do as consumers, and this is something I see in myself constantly, is that I always make a consumer decision. If I've got money in my wallet, I know what the money can buy. Not often do I look at money and go, how do I leverage this money to make more money? Right? I don't do that. And that's the problem. So you're either a consumer or you're someone that's focused on wealth creation. You can't be both typically. Well, you can be, but hopefully you're paying yourself with the money you're making instead of spending the money that you don't have, right? That's called debt. So what we did was we created an illustration here, because we know from the statistics that we get that 99% of South Africans are indebted. Who would like to pay their bond, their house off in half the time? Everybody, right? I wish. I bought a property and sold it, a townhouse just down the road here, and I'd been paying it off, paying the bond off like a good South African citizen every month. I didn't miss a bond payment for 7 years. And the principal outstanding debt was exactly the same as what I financed 7 years later. Don't you love that? That's a shock to the system if you're not expecting it, right? Because in the first 6, 7 years, you're only paying interest off back to the bank. So that was a bit of a shock to the system. So yes, I would love to pay the bond off in half the time. So here we have an example of someone with a R1 million bond. So on a R1 million bond over 20 years, 20-year term, at prime plus 2, you're spending about 11,500 rands paying that bond off every single month. You join DuePoint 6 months later, you're earning 2,500 rand, and instead of doing the consumer thing and spending the money, you do this boring thing and you decide to put that additional 2,500 rand as an extra payment into your bond every single month. What is the net effect of that? Well, on this example, you'll pay the house off in 11 and a half years instead of 20 years. Do you know how much money you save yourself in interest that the bank doesn't get? 900,000 rand. That is scary, right? And so our focus here at DuePoint is to get our wealth engineers on the right side of compound interest. Compound interest is an amazing thing, but unfortunately, if you're on the wrong side of compound interest, it can affect you for a lifetime. It does. It'll affect you for a lifetime, right? So that's 6 months away. 12 months, you're earning in nearly 9,000 rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 rand in additional income every single year. Imagine telling your friends you get 100,000 rand bonus every single year. How many people do you know that even get any bonus, right? You're lucky if you get a 3% average increase currently, like most South Africans. That is 12 months away. Remember, we're still doing just 2 new people onto your first point every single month. At month 24, 2 years from now, suddenly you're earning nearly 30,000 rand a month. Can you do 2 people a month? That's what you've got to ask yourself. Can I connect 2 people successfully to this business? After 36 months, you're close to 50,000 rand a month. After 48 months, you'll be closing on about 70,000 rand a month. And after 60 months, 5 years from today. So think about where you want to be in 5 years' time. I don't know if people plan that far ahead, but in 60 months' time, you could be earning about R1 million in additional recurring income annually. Now, it doesn't end, because this is asset-based income. You can decide to take 3 months off for the next 3 months, and you'll still get paid every single month, because we're paying you based on the channel that you've built, not on the activity, right? Your activity certainly leads to building the channel, to building the asset, but with time, you get to enjoy recurring income that's coming into your bank account every single month. So this is only academic. I know people can come up and say, well, this is just a theoretical example, and I'll concede the point. I'll say, for sure, it's just theoretical. But that's why we bring up wealth engineers every single month to tell us their stories. So every single month we have something called Tell All Tuesday. We invite wealth engineers, all kinds of wealth engineers, even the ones that have quit the business and then come back, right? So Sandra was very brave. She was one of those people. She didn't quit, but she became completely inactive. For all of a year, for 12 months, she disappeared. So she spent some time building up her channel, and then, like all of us, I guess human behavior, we go, oh, those people over there look like they're doing better than what I'm doing here. Let me go see what's going on over there, right? And she admits it. You can go watch the video. She'll say, yeah, she did go look at some other systems, and she spent a whole year away from DuePoint, completely neglecting her business, probably too soon in the day. But nonetheless, she earned still 22,000 rand in the business. She built a channel that was 8 points in size. She's got currently 400 people in her channel. And while she was away, while she was completely inactive, she still earned nearly 6,000 rand from DuePoint. Right, so we were still paying her even though she was inactive. Again, back to my point about asset creation. Then we've got Casper and Madeleine, similar story. Perhaps not as bad, because Casper didn't disappear for as long. He's been in the business pretty much since, I think he joined us the first week we opened the doors here at DuePoint. So 2.5 years in. He's currently earning over 7,000 rand a month from his business. But let me tell you, 2018, he skyrocketed. Before that, his business was looking a little bit dismal. But one of the good things that Casper did was he brought very strong people in on his first point. Because him personally, I think he's only brought in 8 people currently on his first point. 8, right? But he brought 1 or 2 superstars into his business, whether that was pure luck or by design, nonetheless. He's got a channel that's got over 500 people in it. He's got 13 points in his business. So he's got actually a lot of value that he can still unlock in the business if he just works on his first point a little more. And that 7,000 is equivalent to having 1.7 million rand in a bank account, giving you a 5% return on interest. That's the question that you always have to ask yourself. That is a number you need to know like the back of your hand, is what is money actually worth? Because if you solely depend on salary, right? So you decide, no, you're not going to waste your time with your free time trying to engage in other business opportunities, and you get to retirement, well, you look back on the 40, 45 years and you go, well, in that time, how much of a retirement fund did I put together? Because the retirement fund that you put together is what you rely to live off, right? And that depends on the interest rate. So if you've saved 1.7 million rand, that is going to pay you out typically 7,000 rand a month. So that gives you a good idea of the value of assets when you get to retirement. So you can look at 7,000 rand and go, oh, it's not that much. But who's saving close to 2 million rand in their retirement fund? Right, go do that exercise. It's also a bit of a scary exercise, especially if you're my age. When you don't have as much time left, you've got 20 years and you realize you've got to be saving almost half your salary to get to a point where you can live off an equivalent salary once you get to retirement, which is completely impractical. Who saves half their salary towards their retirement fund? And then you've got risk attached to that too, right? Your retirement fund invests in Steinhoff. Then what? Right? So not a good idea to rely purely on retirement funds and salary. Then we've got Lynette. Lynette is a testament to endurance. She's got a wonderful story. Also joined the business the day we actually launched it. The value of her channel sitting at over 16,000 a month. She's got 19 points in her business. She's got nearly 2,000 people in her channel. To date, she's earned 140,000 rand. And again, if really go look at the testimonies, because the video testimony reveals so much. Lynette's story is basically she got involved. She was doing DuePoint as necessity. Her entire family got retrenched. Her husband got retrenched. They then went through retirement. They didn't have a plan B. DuePoint was the only plan that they had, right? But even by an admission, she said only at the end of last year did they begin to prioritize DuePoint. DuePoint wasn't a priority. And her business has skyrocketed in the last year. She went from rank 3 to rank 7 in the space of 4 months. Right? Massive increase in the business. So again, we don't paint this picture of linear, this line, the straight line to success. When anyone tells you that there's a straight line to success, it's just lying to you. It is a bumpy ride, man. The one characteristic that you want to have is endurance. So I saw a wonderful video recently of this man who started in the mailroom in the States. He got into the Hollywood business. Literally started in the mailroom, typically internship in the mailroom. So in US businesses, what they do is they take interns, right? And interns aren't the useless people. The interns are the people that they hand select, the graduates or the kids that are hand selected to be introduced into a business. But they'll always start them in the mailroom, because when you work in the mailroom, you get to understand how the entire business works. So this used to happen in the old days. They don't have mailrooms anymore, right? And so he started in the mailroom. Typical internship in the mailroom would be about 2 years. But this guy got out the mailroom within 3 months, and he became the PA to the CEO of the biggest Hollywood production company in the US within 3 months. And how did he do it? Well, he summarizes his whole story into, you've got to work hard, you've got to work long, and you've got to work smart. There's always this discernship. I don't know if people get it. People think, oh, working hard means you must put in lots of work. That's not working hard. That's working long. Working long is working long hours. Working hard is when the circumstances get so difficult it forces you to want to quit, but you persist anyway. That is what working hard is, right? And that's what Lynette has done. She worked hard. 2017, her business didn't grow. For an entire year of her pushing the business, it didn't grow. But 2018 suddenly shot up. We don't know for what reason, right? Too many variables. So we've got thousands of people joining the business every single month, and everybody is different. That's what I love about the business is the system that we've provided is identical for everybody. It's identical for everybody. So why are there so many people that earn different amounts of money here at DuePoint? But you're at liberty to decide what you want out of this business because you can leverage our system any way you like. I don't dictate to anybody what they can earn in this business, right? You'll become a wealth engineer, probably won't even know it. You only come onto our radar when you start appearing near the top of our reports with regards to activity, earnings, and that type of thing. But you've got to decide what you want out of this business. The decision not so much is what you want, but more importantly, more practically, what you're willing to sacrifice. Because this proposition this evening is about me taking your time, not only for my benefit, for both our benefits, but that's a decision you've got to make. How does DuePoint fit into your life? Is it every Wednesday evening? Is it every day? Is it weekends? Is it lunchtimes during the week work? What does it look like? You get to decide that, right? But it's a very important decision to make. Becoming a wealth engineer is very straightforward. Getting started in our business, you become a wealth engineer, you get your unique wealth engineer number, you get your code of conduct, you read your code of conduct, I hope. Who reads the small print? No one really, right? Read the code of conduct. More importantly, read the section that says you may not do these things. That's a very important section. But then start applying yourself as you would to any business. So I wish that wealth engineers would imagine that they've just dropped their life savings into this business. And they have to make it work, because then I think people will start applying themselves more seriously to the business. My father's a gold miner. We had training this weekend on gold mining, right, as an analogy to our business. He's been a gold miner for 45 years, very successfully. He often gets moved onto shafts that are loss-making businesses, and he turns them into profit. And I asked him this weekend, prior to the training, I said, what's the number one thing that you need to make a mine profitable? Because 50% of the mines in South Africa are marginal, right? They've got to contend with gold price, US dollar exchange rates, labor relations, regulatory issues. It's difficult to make profit on a mine. And he said the number one thing that you need is 100% commitment into what you're doing. If you go to a mine with 90% commitment, you're done. You're done. You're going to waste R1 billion worth of investment, and the mine's not going to work. You'll run at a loss and close the mine down. The mine that they've just taken over near Carletonville now produced R500 million loss in the last quarter. Imagine having that pressure on your shoulders. It's about commitment, because the commitment leads to the investment that you're going to put into that business. And all we require here at DuePoint is just time investment. It's about making the business priority, right, for your own success. So go watch the training. Set goals for yourself. Prepare a plan. Know what your strategy is in this business. But the one metric that you have to worry about is this one right at the end. That's the only number you have to worry about. How many people are you willing to speak to every single month to make this business work for you? And you don't have to be one of the people that want to get to 100,000 Rand a month. You might need, in the short term, just to get to 5,000 Rand a month as quickly as possible. Well, there's a strategy around that. And you know, if you just add 2 people every single month, well, 7, 8 months later, you'll be earning 5,000 Rand a month. That is your strategy, right? But don't forgo this engagement process. Merchandise. Our business, unfortunately, is very reliant on first impressions, right? So our guests here this evening, what was your first impression when someone came up to you and said, I've got a business proposition for you, right? Because the biggest hurdle that you have to get over is credibility. You look at that person telling you about some business opportunity, you know they're trying to get something out of you, right? At least that's your knee-jerk reaction. And our business is about that credibility. Branding, merchandise are tools to increase credibility in that person's eye. This is going to help you be more successful in connecting people. You have to look professional. Business cards for me are imperative. Again, it speaks to commitment. Are you committed? Are you going to get business cards? Or are you not going to get business cards? So consider the merchandise Pricing is available for everybody. We send it anywhere in the country. Join our Facebook page. We're very active on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. All our videos, all the productions that we've produced over the last 2 years resides on YouTube. But more importantly, it's the platform that we use to broadcast our presentation out to the entire country 8 times a week. Live. You can build this business in any town in South Africa overnight without any expense to you. All you have to do is phone somebody up. So I'm going to send you a link. You send them the link on WhatsApp, email, whatever the case is. Say, click on the link, watch this dude on the stage, and afterwards I'm going to phone you and ask you what you think. Whether they say yes or no, you don't have to worry about that, right? So leverage the platform to your advantage. Join, make sure you download the mobile app. It's available on our Android and Apple devices. That is your business in the palm of your hand. You run your entire DuePoint channel from your mobile phone. Then on to our rewards program. So this is the cherry on top here at DuePoint. You can see it already looks more attractive than the rest of the presentation, right? How does the rewards program work? We basically reward you for the success that you have at DuePoint, not just that additional income that you're making every single month. There are other rewards in store for you. So how does it work? If you start out as a wealth engineer today, this evening, you'll start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. To get to rank 1, you need there are 2 requirements. You need 1,000 XP and you need 4 products in your qualified channel. 1,000 XP, we give you XP for everything that you do wealth engineer related. Just being here tonight, you get XP. Taking a profile photo, you get XP. So getting into 1,000 XP takes 2 minutes. 4 products in your qualified channel, and when you meet those 2 criteria, you become rank 1, and we give you an extra 55 Rand at the end of the month. Once off, not recurring, just a little reward, little humble reward. Perhaps people can't get excited about the 55 Rand. You can maybe put in half a litre of petrol. But what you've just proven to yourself is that you can get to any rank in our business. Any rank. Look at the last, well, that's not even the last rank. Our rewards program goes up to rank 28. So at rank 20, you need 500 million XP and 25,000 product owners in your channel. Imagine getting to that point, 25,000 in your channel. But why do I say you can get to rank 20? Because the people at rank 1 are doing exactly the same thing the people at rank 20 are doing every single month. And that is just speaking to people. That is all required. The only thing separating you is time. And certainly, the more success you have, there are much bigger rewards waiting for you. We give tools to our wealth engineers that help them connect prospects more successfully. At rank 7, we talk about first impressions and branding and credibility. At rank 7, we spent 12,500 Rand on a set of business cards manufactured personally for you. For one set, 12,500 Rand. No ink on the cards. They are, it's not even a card, it's a slab. It's a business slab because the cards are very thick, gilded in gold on the edges, the logo's emblazoned in gold. There's no ink on the business cards, right? Business cards like this on the table, I promise you your credibility goes through the roof. At rank 9, we take you and your family to our rank 9 international conference every single year for the rest of your life. Because when you shoot through that 1,000 product mark, you are rank 9, and you'll be heading hopefully towards rank 10, and you will be enjoying this international conference every single year. It's business class flights there and back, 7 days away, 5-star luxury resort, all expenses paid trip. You don't spend a cent on this trip, to the extent where you can let the kids raid the mini bar in your hotel room every single night. Right? We don't get to do that. Who's ever finished the entire bar fridge in the hotel? Normally you put the red tape over that bar fridge and you say no one's allowed near the bar fridge because you're paying 30 Rand for one Snickers. Right? You can raid the bar fridge. We will pay for your bar fridge to be restocked every single day. You forget your credit card at home. Pat, didn't you forget your credit card? You forgot the whole wallet. He forgot his entire wallet at home and he didn't realize. Fortunately, he didn't forget his passport. But this is what you get to enjoy every single year. So take a look at our last trip. This was to the Western Turtle Bay in Mauritius. The resort we're going to in 3 months' time is Heritage Resorts Little Fair. So you're welcome to go Google those places to understand what level of rank the 5-star we're talking about. It's available for everybody. It's just a matter of time. Sung to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood So that's what our last Rank 9 trip looked like. As I said, it's available for every single person in this room. Everyone in this room, right? We had one gentleman who took 5 months to get to 1,000 products. Patrick and Pumi took, what was it, a year? Was it more than a year? A year. A year to get to 1,000 products. A lot of the other wealth engineers took just under 2 years to get there. Like I said, everybody's different. You get to decide your level of commitment to this. You know, if it becomes a 2-year strategy, well, you know what the strategy is to get there. 2 ranks later, at rank 11, we spend R250,000 buying our wealth engineers a brand new car. You get to choose any car you want. If you want to go buy a R1 million car, we will put R250,000 towards your R1 million car. The point is that we are serious about wealth creation, and so if we can help you get to debt-free status a little faster, that's what we want to do here at DuePoint. There is nothing that we do here at DuePoint with regards to our income, with regards to the training, the support that we create, the rewards that we have in store for people that is not focused on wealth creation. There is not a single arbitrary reward here at DuePoint. Everything is around wealth creation. So that's what our rewards program looks like. It goes up to rank 28, so rank 11 is just getting started. And then this month we have a wealth quest called Explosive Growth. So every month we challenge our wealth engineers just to incentivize them to work a little harder every single month, but there is added benefit. So October's wealth quest challenges you to find 7 new wealth engineers on your first point. So introduce 7 brand new people, qualify 2 of them, so it means you've got to support them in the fact that they can find 3 of their own people, right? And if you can achieve that, there's a brand new Apple iPhone waiting for you, plus 2,000 XP. And then if you're in a position to reinstate 3 previous wealth engineers, because like any other business, we've got fall off, we've got people that leave every single month. If you can get 3 people to come back into the business, revive them, revive the belief that they have in themselves and in the business, there's an extra 5,000 Rand waiting for you, and that is just for October's work. Right, so we do this every single month. There's a different wealth quest every single month. That is October's. You can find more details on the website. And then we've got our national encounters for the rest of the year. So if you thought you were going to start getting into holiday mode in the summer months of our year, think again. We push our wealth engineers even harder going through the summer months. So we've got these dates remaining. We've just had our Durban encounter. So if you go onto Facebook, you can go see the gallery that we've put together for our Durban encounter. And what these business seminars are about is really about belief building. They are business workshops where we go try our best to instill belief in people, right? Because if you can instill belief in people with regards to the potential of the business, well, then you're going to have people that will engage in the business and commit to the business more effectively. And so these are wonderful opportunities to build your channel suddenly nationally. Because again, all you have to do is phone someone you know in Port Elizabeth, tell them there's a business opportunity that they have to go watch, right? Tell them, take 10 of your friends with you, only 5 will arrive, right? We always play the odds, and see what happens. If 1 or 2 people join, you've suddenly got a channel that's lit up in Port Elizabeth. Do that for every single destination that we're going to, so that by the end of the year, you've got a national channel. Don't write 2018 off. I know lots of people have written 2018 off. I got stopped by a traffic officer. I won't say why. I got stopped by a traffic officer, and he was complaining about 2018. And he says to me, he's so glad 2018's over. I was like, my friend, there's still 3 months left, right? But that's just, people have written it off because of the circumstance and the experience that they've had for the year, and that they have no hope for the next 3 months. This business is about creating opportunity. We're all about hope. You need 1 month to change your financial position, right? It might be a little bit, but if you can do that in 1 month, what can you do in 12 months? What can you do in 3 months? If you keep pushing every single month, you're not starting at 0 like the business I ran. You get to start off wherever you ended off last month, and you keep getting to grow this channel and grow your income. Where the average person is getting 3% increase in their salaries a year. That is dismal, right? You can do more than that. Everybody has the potential to do way more than that. And that's what I want to find in people. Our business is about sifting through the people to find the people that have enough belief in themselves that engage in our business and start changing their lives. And that's my invitation to you. I invite you to come join us here at DuePoint. Make the next 3 months prosperous months so that you don't write off 2018. How many of us are going to Facebook that 2018 was rubbish at the end of the year? Right? We're not at the end of the year yet. You can change your circumstance. What's the saying? You're only as good as your last game. You can be only as good as your last month. So make December a month where you made money. Why not? Right? They are stepping stones towards wealth creation. So that is my invitation. If you have any questions, come speak to me. Otherwise, sincerely, I wish everybody prosperous months of the remainder of the year. Good luck. Thank you.